All right, all right. So the Cowboys are bringing in Damontae Kazee into the house. Y'all already know. Let me go ahead and prepare y'all minds for it. And I believe it's going to be next week sometime. Oh, if he coming to Dallas to visit, and if everything check out, you might as well pencil him in as one of our safeties. You might as well, because you're going to have Dan Quinn. Just think about it. You're going to have Dan Quinn in the office, right? You're going to have Jerry Wine Jones in the office. You're going to have John Stephen Jones. They're going to set the table up nice. And once he come in, you might as well say, all right, cool. So what do that mean for Xavier Woods? What does that mean for Donovan Wilson? We'll find out. Now, Donovan Wilson is my dog. I really think that the Cowboys should figure out a way to put extra pieces around him, and they should be looking into this draft and saying, okay, all right, cool. How can we elevate people to help out this particular team, especially in the secondary category? Because when we look at it, Cowboy Nation, we can say to ourselves, all right, hey, last year, historically bad. Oh, by the way, the Atlanta Falcons, they wasn't that good of a shape as well, right? So we battling against that. And I believe in the hearts of hearts, we really need some type of help as relates to talent-wise. Now, is this kid, like I said in my film review, is this kid a range he got? Yes. I've seen some people from Atlanta that was talking, that's rooted for the Atlanta Falcons, said, look, Law, hey, man, we love your channel, we love your network, but this kid got some issues, especially being out there in space. This kid is really not who you think he is. So now I just tried to go back and look at some more film and see how he was able to be out in space and these sorts of things, covering and being single high safety responsibility. And I looked at it and I said, well, some of his plays, some of the blown plays that he was giving up wasn't as bad as Xavier Woods, but they're still workable. Like, there are still situations where he tried to instinct his way around to the ball, and it was just bad, basically. On the outside, all the way in for the Atlanta Falcons, and it could have been just fundamental principles. And hopefully, all of that stuff get erased when you have the different type of philosophy of basically, it's the same philosophy, but you got the different type of philosophy of a different area, different location, and on top of that, it's just a new environment. That's the only way I can pencil it in. Is this more of a bargain, bin, basement shopping type of vibe? Yes. But I think that Joe Whitt Jr., as well as Dan Quinn, they're going to bring a man and say, hey, man, when we was in Atlanta, I was the one that you can say, man, I was the fault, right? The coaching can look at it in this way and say, well, they're trying to build something now. And what we need, just hear me out, Cowboy Nation, because I know a lot of people are at the fence with this. But what we need is to have installers, people who play within the confines of our system, to pour upon it to the new guys, if that can make any sense, right? Pour it upon, I've seen Joe Whitt Jr. working out with a Darius Washington, right? If in a situation or in a pinch, if the Cowboys are able to draft him and you got a guy that played in this system before, like a Kazee, he can really help that kid out. Don't look at the production aspect, but look at the teaching. And sometimes you need somebody who's been down that street before or that road before. And it's easier for these other guys to pick that part up of it, if that can make any sense, right? If you guys can pull that into your minds of it. So, Cowboy Nation, when I think about it, yes, we got a long, long way to go. And I don't want us to be looking at it like, man, at this point, this is our defense. No, it's still at its baby stage right now. We still trying to learn what the philosophy of what Dan Quinn is bringing to the table, what Joe Whitt Jr. is bringing to the table, and everybody else. The players, they got to understand what the coaches really want out of them. And it's still early in the game. Now, truth be told, and everybody know this, the Super Bowl is won during the offseason, right? When you make the right movements, the right placements. But if they bringing in this kid, Damontae, for a checkup to make sure that everything is operational and to really go over everything line by line, right? And dot the I's and all of those good things. Then we, Cowboy Nation, they gonna sign them, basically. That's just how it goes. Now, let's not get mad. Let's not get angry and upset. But let's look at it like, okay, these could be supplements, complementary pieces. And let's see how this draft rocks out. Now, I'm with the belief that the Cowboys should go out there and spend their money on a proven commodity opposed to just probing and picking out these things. But this is the Cowboys' way. This is the way, this is their philosophy of looking at it, saying, all right, we bring in this guy, maybe we can get it for a 2-for-1, a little cheaper deal. And it never really goes around to where we look at it and say, man, that was a fantastic move that the Cowboys did. And now this guy playing on the team for 5 or 6 years, made the Pro Bowl All-Star. Now we made it deep into the playoff and these sorts. It don't happen that way, but it's just the way that they decide to do it. I wish I could change Jerry Wine Jones' mind, but I can't. Wine and mine, they do kind of rhyme though. So I know a lot of people in the comments were looking at it like, hey, Law, is there a way, is there a chance, is there an opportunity for us to get Kyle Fuller? Is there a way, is there an opportunity for us to get Stephon Gilmore? Is there a way, is there a chance, is there an opportunity for us to go out here and pick up Richard Sherman? You know, all of these names are all kind of clustered together. They cluster together, but I will say this, and I'm not making movements for space to be added for the Jones family. But I will have to tell you guys that there will be another wave after the draft, and there may be better players that get cut or released after the draft. That's just the bottom line. Now, I'm not saying that there's better players than Kyle Fuller now or better players than Stephon Gilmore if you don't want to make that trade action. But what I'm saying is that, look, this new coaching staff, they got to establish something and let them implement their system. So we got to sit back and relax. That's all I'm saying. Do I like the philosophy that the Cowboys are doing? Hell no, I don't like it. But we're just in the mercy seat of them, right? And we got to evaluate the players that they got. That's all we can do. Or the players that they're going to go out there and get and try to say, okay, all right, you got the Basham kid. You got the Carlos Watkins. Okay, you got this big old 6'7", 308 pounds guy that just can scrape the sky. And you're going to put him inside. Okay, Brent Urban. Okay, all right, cool. But are we better than what we were last year? Can these guys compete? I want them guys to be hungry. I know you guys want them to be hungry too. I don't want nothing given to them. And Antoine Twaka Woods, he shouldn't be walking around saying, all right, I'm good. I'm straight. Navarre Gallimore, no. Tristan Hill should be sweating. Tristan Hill should be looking at this thing saying, man, new coaching staff, new regime. I don't have a sponsor no more. Shout out to my dog, Brian Brothers, for bringing up that word. I don't have a sponsor no more. This is a whole new defense. Oh, my goodness. And I already heard that they're talking about bringing back a McCoy. So this thing can get flat out crazy, just like that. Oh, is Dorrance Armstrong still on this team? He got to fight for his spot. Bradley or not sitting there like, okay, y'all like Basham, but I'm better. That's his mindset. It should be his mindset. And D-Law sitting there saying, I'm the king of this thing. That should be his mindset. And Randy Gregory saying, hey, I'm going to blaze him up. That's what I'm going to do when I get out there on the field. The competition should be strong. The competition should be like one of those things saying, bring it. I'm right here type of groove. But it takes time for us to sit back and wait for the OTAs and training camp. And especially those waves of the draft. We got to see how those kids interact with each other. I want some dogs. I want to know your thoughts, Cowboy Nation. Post them down below. How y'all feel about Damontae? Because they bringing him in. Let's see what he can do. All I want to do is win. that spend my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute.